Isagi, it's time to cook. What's up, guys? I love Hunter here, and here we are to do a breakdown / live reaction review to chapter 269 of Blue Lock, which is known as Not Only. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little scared. I'll admit, I'm a little teeny tiny bit. Okay, more than teeny tiny. I'm a little bit scared. Because like this is Destroyer Rin, or at least something close to it. And like once again, I see the narrative vision. Like Isagi low-key has to lose, but I don't want him to lose because he's my goal. I'm in a catch 22 right. I'm in a catch 22 right now. I'm in a massive catch 22 right now. Please, Rin, cook. Like that's the thing. I want Rin to cook, but I want Isagi to cook more. So in this cooking competition, I need the hero of Blue Lock to come through. But let's see, we always have so much to talk about. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, okay. You have fun with that editing me. I know you're so mad because that was way too quiet. So hopefully the mic picks that up. But what's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Any other fun fact. Hey! When I forget where I saw it. But someone said Blue Lock, the manga, has bad art. And I don't know. Once again, I don't have a degree in art. I'm literally just a guy who likes to draw. I'm literally just a guy with a pencil who happens to have it on him and keep it on him at all times. And of course, since it's Peak Lock, and it's Peak every week, I got a pre-draw. I mean, it's gonna be gas. It's gonna be gas, naturally. We're getting Rin versus Isagi, dog. And like, as much as I'm a Kaiser Glazer, a 100 million billion trillion duodecillion nonillion Googleplex Kaiser Glazer, and a person who believes that Kaiser is ultimately, right now, so far from what we've seen in the Eagles League, Isagi's best rival. I'll go into a video further in depth explaining that because I know a lot of the Rin fans out there came from my neck, and I saw the Baro fans out there. They also came to drop kick me. But with it being the case, all that aside. What was I talking about? No, I'm kidding. All that aside, the idea of Rin versus Isagi is going to be peak. So naturally, Peak Lock is going to be peak. Of course, situation's still on the table. Worst comes to worst. If there's not a Peak Lock chapter in this match, that guy at the kitchen will become canon, y'all. It's in the books. It's in the book. It'll become canon. Like the kitchen is prepared. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be cooking darn near every day now. So that guy at the kitchen, he's ready. He just probably won't come out because Peak Lock is Peak Lock. But back all the way to the original point. Someone said the Blue Lock art is bad, and like, is it the best in the industry? No, because Kohei Horikoshi is a madman. Even though the manga's ending really, really soon, but Kohei Horikoshi is a madman. All right, he should be banned from the conversation because the Record of Ragnarok mangaka, especially the better of the two. No offense, once again, I'm not a mangaka. I'm not good at drawing. No, but there are 2 Record of Ragnarok manga artists, and one of them is better. I don't know who draws who, but I can tell. I don't know which is which. I'll be completely honest with you. They don't describe who does which cuts, but I know. I can see the feasible difference. Read the Record of Ragnarok mangaka and look for the art style differences. It confused me when I first read it, but especially on a reread, you can tell who draws what. It's there. Especially when they're drawing the same characters back to back. It happens a couple times where characters being drawn by one of the artists and characters are being drawn by another one of the artists, and you can see the quality clash. Not even that the second artist is bad, but just like the first artist is really, really good, and even the second artist is really, really good. I'm just once again comparing them to each other, and that's really high bar to clear. Like, he's not. Don't get me wrong. Yusuke Nomura is not Murata. I get it. But to say this is bad, like, look at it, no gad. I'm sorry, he's so gad. Like, how is Nomura a bad artist? The only thing I could possibly get him for is like the backgrounds sometimes. But like, what backgrounds do you expect in a sports manga? You want to see the empty Neo Eagles League facility? Is that it? Like, dog. Hop off but regardless, let's actually hop into chapter 269. Not only. So matchup Rin versus Isagi. Interesting. Okay, so Isagi still only has Metavision active, but it looks like Rin has actually entered flow. So it's always interesting, like, what forces Isagi into flow and what doesn't. Like, Isagi, I'm not going to say it feels random, but it feels like there are times where Isagi should definitely be entering flow, or at least like tipping on it. Like he should essentially be right there, but sometimes he just doesn't enter it. And don't get me wrong, Metavision is definitely like, in the grand scheme of things, I'd say like it goes base Isagi, Metavision Isagi, Reflex Isagi, Flow Isagi. But still, like, the third lowest tier, against your biggest op that's actually on the other team. Like, obviously, I know Kaiser is currently Isagi's biggest op. I'm personally a huge fan of that. But, like, relatively speaking, this is your biggest op on the other team, and you still ain't in flow, Isagi? Because we've seen Metavision flow. That's not Metavision flow. This is regular Metavision. So is this all according to Keikaku, Isagi? Let's take a look. In the book, ooh! He said no. But, you know, once again, man, the dynamism of these panels is fantastic, too. Though, admittedly, I feel like there could have been a utilization of, like, Isagi's undershirt here to show a breakage, because this is a long stream of black. And the action lines could be extended a little bit more here. But once again, this is me just... Because this is the catch-22, right? Obviously, you guys know, guy with a pencil, have it on me, keep it on me at all times. But I glaze a lot. I glaze, especially the series I cover, because I like the series I cover. Notably, there's not a single... I've had critiques of every single series on the channel that I've covered. But, like, even the ones I'm the most critical of, and I say out of all the series I cover currently, the most critical one, and even then, you can tell by how inconsistent I cover it, the one I'm most critical of is MHA, and even still, that's one of my favorite manga, which is why I still cover it. But, with that being the case, I find myself glazing excessively, and I feel like I don't give enough critiques on things that I do actually want to point out, so I'm trying to find, like, a better balance between, like, excessive glazing, because I really, really like these manga and their art styles, and, hold on a second, let me actually give some genuine critiques, because not everything's perfect in my own, once again, untrained artistic eyes. I'm not sure any of my fellow artists out there, especially my trained artists in the comments, do y'all agree? Because, like, notably, Nomura's done that before, breaking up the stretches of black on the uniforms using the undershirts of the characters, so it's not just, like, this solid area. And notably, the action lines have been more crowded. They're even a bit more crowded here. And I'll admit, there definitely could be a more usage of action lines, or, like, even what he uses here, like the faded silhouette of Isagi's leg, to show off the motion here. Because don't get me wrong, the image is still clearly portrayed. Isagi knocks it back to himself, stretches out, crosses, boom. Like, it makes sense, don't get me wrong. But little bit of action flow, just little things. That's the one thing that I'll always be able to do, because I read the manga and I don't make it. I'll look at things slightly bit differently than Nomura does. And once again, I'm not actually sure how much of Nomura's work Kaneshiro themselves review. Both of them are fans of football, but notably, I'm not sure, like, how much input Kaneshiro has on Nomura, or if Nomura just gives him the manuscripts, maybe general scene information, and, like, a general beat-by-beat point, and then Nomura just goes crazy. I don't know. Once again, as a person who, when I write or draw something, I'm writing and drawing, and thusly I know how I want it to look and how I make it. With a artist-author combo, I'm not actually sure how that works. And it probably does vary author by artist combo, so interesting. Let's see. Weave. Isagi. Ooh, bro said, "Get off me, you fiend!" Oh, wait. Bro just smacked his arm. I know the technically isn't a foul, though, because once again, Isagi defended it. Okay. Nanase? Are you going to actually do something? Uh-oh, no. Well, look at that Metavision eyes. Let me tell you, you're not, my boy. Bro chipped it back. Did he? There's no way my boy Isagi just heel chipped that back on an arc to Corona, dog. What is this man made of? But see, look at that. Utilizing the undershirt to break up the silhouette a little bit. That's good stuff. Especially, like, notably, I love comics and I respect comics a whole bunch. I don't cover them on the channel. Shock horror, that guy with the pencil doesn't cover comics. But one thing that I'll admit that it's harder to do in manga than it is to do in comics, because comics are typically fully colored. It's hard to break up silhouettes, especially when characters are wearing mostly uniform outfits. It's something that I find really impressive in Sakamoto Days, because, like, Suzuki-sensei from Sakamoto Days fame has characters wearing very simple or very unicolor outfits. They just go out of their way to make the outfit so unbelievably detailed and baggy and loose-fitting that it still works. But Nomura does it in a different way typically, where he'll have the characters wear undershirts or have contrasting colors in their uniforms that allows for these silhouettes to still look clean. Like, this is still a very clean silhouette, the crescent moon shape. But at the same time, there's the breakup there, so you don't get that full, solid black line effect. And then, once again, don't get me wrong, I get it. Maybe this wouldn't work for Isagi here. I don't know, once again, I'm not good enough of an artist to know how the shirts would flap up here or not flap up. But still, nice little detail. 1-2. That's my goat. I love Corona. I'm sorry. That's my son. Like, out of all the Blue Eye characters, if I could adopt one, it's Corona. More than Isagi, more than Bachira. Bar wouldn't let me adopt him, and I'm pretty sure he's an adult. Like, more than any other character, it's got to be Corona. I feel like I could just pick him up, put him over my shoulder, and just walk away. That's my boy. That's my son. Don't touch my son. Don't touch my little shark boy. But let's see. Clean cross right back to Isagi. Non-stop. Oh, he's picking up. You know, I love that I've done that to some of y'all, but I don't like it. Well, I guess I can't say I don't like it, because I do like... actually, this a lot. I like taking slang. But I don't like when I subconsciously copy other people's verbal tics. Or not verbal tics, or just like speaking patterns. Notably, the way I speak is a combination of how my mom and dad speak, because I grew up with them. But there are times in my life where my speaking patterns have suddenly changed because I spent an excessive amount of time around somebody that isn't my mother or father. And thusly, my words and how I structure my sentences have fundamentally changed. And I notice it, and I try to correct it immediately. Not because it's necessarily a bad thing, but like, Isagi suddenly taking Corona's affinity to repeat things reminds me of a time where I have a friend who triples things. Notably, I'll say things twice. Like, I do this all the time. You know what, I do it all the time. But I typically don't triple down on things. But sometimes it'd be like that when it'd be like that, especially when it'd be like that, especially when it'd be like that. Like, I started doing that more. Because I was spending a whole bunch of time with my roommate from college, and he did that. And I was like, I didn't notice it until I did it in front of someone who knows that I typically double down on things. And they're like, you've been influenced. And it's true. So I understand Isagi. He's been training a lot with Corona. Corona's been his main man. It makes sense that he's suddenly picking up the non-stop. Rin, you can't be getting cooked like this, my boy. Nice work, number one. I anticipated all of Rin's... Oh, so it was all according to Keikaku. Rin! Wake up! Rin! I was kidding, bro. I didn't think it was actually all going to be according to Keikaku, dog. Nice work, number one. I anticipated all of Rin's movements. We broke through. Okay, cooking. Right now, everyone on the field is moving around me. Oh, yeah. Well, not Shido. Shido's been locked down. Okay, there we go. Well, Kunigami suppressing Shido. Suppressing Shido is so crazy. But, I mean, it's accurate. And you know what? I was getting on Shido's case. But, like, how many of us? Like, I ain't exactly, but I ain't small. I'm 3 feet tall. But I ain't small. But how many of us could actually do anything if we were in Shido's situation? Kunigami is like 6'2", nearly 200, or probably, I don't know, we don't think we have his Neo-Egoist League stats. We know he got way beefier, and he was already pretty beefy. How many of us are actually beating Kunigami in the 1v1? I'm like, personally, I'm not. So, like, notably, I can't give Shido too much flack there. If I was getting locked down by the biggest guy in Blue Lock, next to Tokimitsu, who's worthless, of course I won't be able to do anything. Let's see. Kurasu's Antetsu and Shido's attacks are dead in the water, which is interesting, and I wonder to a degree why they aren't abandoning Shido. Because, like, Shido's safe. There's no question of Shido making the U20 team. Right now, like I've been saying for a while, Shido's role is essentially done. We can see him do literally nothing the rest of this match, and it's fine. But for Kurasu and Zantetsu, they're still fighting for their lives. So the fact that they're, like, wasting time on essentially, you know, a lost cause, I'm kind of bamboozled. Honestly, I'm waiting to see if those two, especially Kurasu, just... Because, like, there's no reason to stay. At least not really. What has Shido done for them? Let's see. Which means PXG's only threat is Rin. And if I can suppress his coordination, I can predict his actions like I did just now. Tokimitsu, you're so trash! Let's see. That leaves the unpredictable Charles. If I can keep him in my line of sight as much as possible, all of PXG's attacks I can suppress. Yes and no. Because that's a lot to keep in. I know Metavision functions on the property of like, especially considering you're taking a gamble on these three staying three, and either of these two, one of the fastest guys in Blue Lock and one of the craftiest guys in Blue Lock, just dipping. Either of them can just dip at whatever time. So Tetsu out of stupidity and Karasu out of intelligence. And notably, while these two are just light work, I can understand that. Having to keep an eye on 1, 2, 3, 4 people while coordinating with your own team, while still working against Kaiser and making sure Kaiser doesn't come out the clutch, like, that's a lot to keep an eye on. And especially with Charles, because Charles, he's not a field teleporter. I've heard that become like a phrase in the community. Like, there's some people who just teleport across the field. But Charles is the kind of guy who will be like, we see the exact same world, buddy. I know exactly what you think I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the exact opposite of that. So, like, Charles is the kind of guy who already would take up a lot of Metavision programming, because in order to worry about Charles, you need to think about what you would do in Charles' situation with his abilities. Think about what he would think about you thinking that way, and then flip that perspective in order to make sure you can actively work around it. It is it sounds so stupid, but that Charles is pretty cracked. Like, don't get me wrong, especially for a character who I was not expecting a lot from, he's pretty darn cracked. But once again, I only see him maybe feeding Rin one more goal. But let's see. I can suppress. Well, look at him, look at him, look at the fiend, he's a fiend. Let's see, basically, right now, the only one besides me with goal potential is him. I mean, yeah, because like, who else? I mean, Hiyori, but he's not going to score. Corona, I guess, but he's not going to score. Kiona, I guess, but he's not going to score. Raichi, I get, but he's not going to score. Like, Ness, I get, but he's not going to score. This is the thing, there are real, like, which is weird to think about. That's real weird to think about. But Yuki Maya is not on the field. That's like the only other like BM guy that like scores or like has scored in the Elite League. It's either been Noah, Kaiser, Isagi, or Yuki Maya. That's it. Oh, and Kunigami. But once again, Kunigami's not even playing offense right now. He's in the general vicinity. Maybe someone could use him. Like, imagine passing to Shido or someone attempting to pass to Kunigami while he's on Shido, and Kunigami being like, oh, wait, I can kind of lefty shot this. Hold on. And then he just does that. But still, I get what Isagi means here in this moment, where, like, the only other person who's unchained right now, not filling another role, and is currently fiending for something, just like Isagi is, yeah, it would be that man. Big Kaiser. But let's see. Even if it's basically impossible for him to recreate that super goal from earlier. That is true. That's one of the big things. Kaiser's goal from earlier, the Magnus Impact, was beautiful, but also very, very situational. Once again, I mean, maybe not. It depends on how many people. I'm not sure. Once again, thank you to every single football/soccer player who was in the comments of, not just last or 2 weeks ago's review, but the week before that too, when I was asking about Magnus Impact and how impressive it actually was from a soccer standpoint, and like how it compared to the bicycle kick and Nagi's five-stage revolver volley. Like, thank you for that, because once again, your boy's not that knowledgeable about football, like, at all. I'm one of the people that Nomura would be happy to have drawn into the manga, a guy who doesn't necessarily care too much about football, who just actually does the manga. So now I have another question for y'all. Thank you for all your clarifications on why Nagi's is technically more impressive than Kaiser's Magnus, but technically there's a debate between Kaiser's Magnus and Nagi's five-stage volley. How consistently possible is it to get a no-spin stop on a ball? Like, is it possible to have, like, the backspin be just right, that it stops in that perfect place? Or is that, like, unrecreatable? Is that something that only happens by chance? Can you train, essentially, to pass a ball with absolutely zero spin on it, so when it lands, it just... Let me know. I don't know, because once it seems like maybe it's feasibly possible, because we've seen people score. Like, Kunigami, one of Kunigami's goals in the early series is him specifically scoring when he kicked the ball so hard it had no spin on it. And it kind of just... So, maybe it's possible, but I'm not sure. Because I think Kyora's ball actually had, like, a backspin on it. So, I don't know. Let me know about that. One second. He's keeping a closer eye out for a shot from behind me. Yeah, he's a fiend for it. So, the enemy needs to be on guard for both of us. Which is, you know, that's the crazy thing. Once again, I always speak in fighting game terms, and I know you are getting sick and tired of it. But this is like when in Smash Bros., where you know that one person kind of has your number already, and you're running duos, but the other person's always still there. Like, notably, especially when I'm running duos with my friends, I'm the kind of guy who will typically run a one with somebody and, like, let the other two fight. But at complete random, especially depending on the character I'm playing, if I have any sort of range, and you just happen to be close, especially if team damage is off, dog, I will randomly swing at you. Like, it is something. Because, like, notably, a lot of the characters I play do tend to have some variation of range, and the ones who don't are typically fast, so I can use the speed to make up for the lack of range. Like, for the longest time, and still right now, one of my mains is Roy. And I know you're thinking, Pencilman, Roy's a close range fighter. Yeah, I know. But he's also quite speedy. And his smash attacks come out relatively quickly. So there have been times where I've been running duos and I've just, in the middle of fighting somebody else, I'll like knock them away, see my opponent maybe like maybe a quarter stage away from me, turn around, immediately smash attack them, and then turn back to my own fight. And people have gotten used to worrying about that. Because at any moment, I could appear and fair you. And then if I fair you, my opponent or my ally there can immediately begin to combo off of that. And then, even if it only lasts 3 interactions, now you're up 30%. And now when I return back to my fight, because my opponent's recovered back to the stage, you may not be in the best standing, my boy. The only other one I can think of that has significant range is Robin. But notably, I play Robin solely for the memes. Solely for the... Usually 8-player Smash, I rarely play Robin when I'm actually trying to win. But let's see. But the reason I bring that up is because that's the kind of situation that PXG is in right now, right? Like, you want to focus on the main man who Isagi himself admits the entire field is focusing on. You want to focus on Isagi, because he's obviously a big threat, and he himself comes in with a 50-50. Like, you don't know if he's going to shoot with his right, with his left, you don't know if he's going to pass, or if he's going to keep going, he could blitz through, he could not. Like, there are so many issues already dealing with Isagi, kind of like when you're running a 1v1 with somebody in Smash, there are already issues. What, are they going to grab you? Are they going to hit you with a forward air? Are they going to hit you with an aerial? Are they going to hit you with a grounded attack? Are they going to try and smash attack you? Are they going to try to break your shield? Like, there's so many different things you're already worried about. But then you have this other individual who's just as dangerous and just as viable to do something stupidly crazy. So even if you manage to stop the one guy, the other guy may be right there, fiending for it, and come get you anyway. There are times where even I've fallen prey to what I do to other people, where I'll be in the middle of running ones with somebody on the other side of the stage, and I'll be like, yes, it's time to use King K. Rool to back throw you into oblivion. And then the Ganondorf player decides to downbeat me. And then, I didn't realize I was at 140%. And I die. So I get the fear here, where PXG really is like, what am I supposed to do? It's not in the contract. I have no idea how to deal with this. That's a horrid situation to be in. Let's see. If they just focus on me, then Kaiser can score. If Kaiser steals their focus, then I can become more dangerous. That's crazy. More dangerous. Because he already knows. He knows he's already at that level where he's dangerous. But the fact that the whole team is focusing on him, that still limits his options a lot. And we know he's at his best when he's kind of actually forgotten about. Which is crazy to think that the leading man, the hero of Blue Lock, is one that's able to fade so easily into the shadows. But it's true. Especially when there's such a bright, shining light leading behind him. Which is crazy, because that sounds a lot like Baro now that I think about it. Let's see. Right now, BM is evolving into the strongest with ultimate intensity. Look at these two fiends. Puzzle pieces and roses. Look at these two fiends. Let's see. That's perfect. You fool, Isagi. Oh, okay, Rin. You gonna cook? You gonna cook? You gonna cook a little bit? I leveled up to make it this far, but that was nothing more than technique. What I was missing was this mental pressure. I wanted some fool to make me suffer. Oh. So Rin, you wanted it. You know, Rins are some of the most dangerous people you can meet, because they have the double-edged sword effect. They could be your greatest ally in terms of bettering themselves, raising you up, because they'll bring the pressure on you. But if you meet the wrong type of Rin, the one that will draw your worst out of you in an attempt to get out your best in order to bring out their best, ooh, it's dangerous. It is some of the most memorable moments of your life, though. Like, I very specifically can remember an encounter that was in actually academia, where we were back and forth, and I nearly slipped up. I almost said something I shouldn't have said, but I curved it, and boom. But stories for other times. But I can understand. Rin's the kind of person who needs that external pressure. Even if they're already so good in their own, typically, even prodigies fiend a little bit for that challenge to actually make them evolve. Think about the smartest people you knew. Did you remember the first time that they struggled? There are typically two types of responses when the strongest or smartest people you know struggle. Either their entire worldview shatters and they're like, I'm worthless. I have no value. This is supposed to be light work. Or, the one I've seen more often, oh, finally, something to actually make me sweat. And then they start sweating extremely hard. And then that can bring you down, but still, I understand. I see it, Rin. Let's see. Someone strong and honest to stand in my way. Crazy how these two are being compared now. Let's see. An absolute egoist. This destructive impulse is a trigger on my heart. There's that feeling. But you know, that's crazy. That is ludicrously insane. And you know, I get it. It's because Ren is mostly playing solo while he does have a team supporting him. The team supporting him is admittedly much weaker than the team supporting Isagi. But the idea that Ren, who solo stomped through Manshine, which admittedly, you know, with a Nagi and Reo, and like a solo team backpacker Jigiri, it makes sense in some ways. But to see this Rin who had leveled up so much that Nagi thought, oh bro, Nagi ain't even human no more. What are these specs? And to do that without destroying him, just on skill, physicals, and technicality understanding alone. To see that Isagi is that clear, it makes sense. And that's the one thing I like the most. Isagi being so demonstrably powerful and above literally all of his previous rivals to a degree where Rin, someone who clears himself from the previous arc in terms of like the U20 arc, at least in terms of raw stats or base stats, to see him put this much pressure on Rin, more pressure than, well, Baro didn't play Rin ever, so that's bad, but more pressure than Chigiri did, than Nagi did, than Reo did, than Bachila did, poor Bachila, but to see that be the case goes to show just how impressive and insane Isagi's growth is. To the point where he's bringing this out of someone who evolved on their own. We love my heroic goat. Let's see. There's that feeling. No. This is my game. I need to score here and now. Otherwise, this will all have been meaningless. Think. Find a way to nullify Kaiser and win. A way to destroy his ideal performance. How though? With a single... Did bro just... Why bro at the point? Why do you hit the brakes? With a single action. Huh? What the? Isagi-kun? He's going to Kaiser? How do you like this? You rather tail me and creep around in the field's blind spot? So I'll run next to you and put you where everyone can see you. Oh, okay. Right. You know what? That's a smart way to do it, right? Because once again, it's kind of like, it's priority management. Going back to my Smash analogy. Typically this happens once you've already beaten one of your opponents. But have you ever been in a situation where you're running duos, your partner dies, and now you're just facing down both of your opponents? Sure, they may both be extremely battle damaged. Y'all may all be on one stock. But it's still like a 2v1. And before, what would have been an opponent, you had your eye on the corner of your eye just because you knew they were dangerous because they were there as well and they had big sweeping attacks too, or they could run over and attack you while you're not focused. And now you're just looking at them both and you're like, oh no, now they're both here. And they both want to take it from me, huh? Pause all over that. But still, that's the kind of thing that Isagi's hoping for. It's kind of like ironically enough, it's similar to another situation in Smash where it's a free-for-all and then someone yells, he's got 3 stocks left! Where before you were kind of just creeping, like people knew you were there, but they weren't paying attention to like your damage or how many stocks you had. Isagi basically just screamed that in the middle of the Smash lobby, and now everyone in 8-player Smash is like, whoa! Because they all realize they're down a stock or down to their last stock and like, wait a minute! We need to jump this man. I like it, Isagi. I see the play. Let's see. Put you where everyone can see you. Yoichi. You still have better individual abilities. Because he's my goal. I love you, Kaiser. Let's see. But I have Hyora. Why did I use their names like that? Hyori and Corona to give me support from the outside. Yes, indeed, my goats. All on your own without the ball. You're like a bird in a cage. Okay, Isagi. But be careful. Last time you roasted little bro, he came out and Magnus impacted on your forehead, dog. Like that sounds so wrong. But watch how you talk, Isagi. Watch how you talk. Let's see. So go ahead and show me your optimal escape from this restriction. Oh, that's how clean, break from the puzzle pieces. Perfect. You fell for it, you fool. If you charge... I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm giving Isagi such a deep voice. If you charge ahead into the enemy formation, you'll be the obvious threat that draws their guard. And what I want is to stick behind... Hey, yo! I'm to stick behind you. So I can freely split off and make it out to the blue dash. Ooh, look at this. Why are these two fiends? And why is Isagi so deep? Oh, well, okay. But Isagi got to ran straight. Meanwhile, Isagi Kaiser ran on a curve. But look at this face, bro. He's fiending for it. Why do you look like this? There. Out of the blue, Isagi. All right. Not my son. Rin, why did it have to be my son? No! Why couldn't you do this to Hiyori? At least Hiyori's 6'1". Girl's like 5'4", dog. No! Not my baby boy. Why'd you have to do this to him? He was such a sweet child. No! You set him in the air, Rin. In the air. Wait. Yo, this is... It's purposeful. This ironically enough, it's not actually. It's kind of the opposite, but it's a similar play to what he did to the Watchdog guy back in U20, where he used his own weight of a back press in order to get him off when Rin was going for a run. Rin does the opposite here. He sees Kuroda going for a pass, comes in and says, "Hey, you want to go for a trip? Sorry, you can only afford to fall." And just flips broski. "I figured you'd be here. You... Isayo Kofin... Isa Kofin... Oh, is it supposed to like mean Isagi reliant braid runt?" I feel bad. Hey, as a person who's only 1.5 feet tall, I understand being called short. Why does everyone keep... Like, it's the thing that everyone mentions about Corona. No matter what, if Corona's having a one-on-one interaction with somebody where he's losing or being tied with, they're gonna bring up the fact that he's short. Chigiri did it, Rayo did it, Nagi did it. Well, actually, I don't think Nagi had an interaction. I don't think Rayo did either. But the main one that comes to mind is Chigiri, and now this. So maybe it hasn't happened as much as I thought, but it feels so personal because it's against my son. Get off of him. Huh? Isai I still have no idea how to say that. What? Rin? Oh, I see. Okay, so wait, you were accounting for Rin, but then you stopped accounting for Rin? But yo, this aura goes absolutely insane, bro. Thumbnail material right here. It's not only Kaiser who needs the nourishment of my restriction to help him evolve. He's drunk. Alright, that's the end of the chapter. Alright. You want to talk about a fee for... Honestly, W chapter. I like that, though. What I like about this chapter is that it's giving us foreshadowing. The biggest thing that I'll say this chapter gives, it's foreshadowing of the future. And what Isagi's going to have to do when he's restored to a full team of people like Kaiser. Don't get me wrong. Will any of the Blue Lockers be as good as Kaiser by the end of the new League? No, because Kaiser's good. But, with it being the case, the thing that now this chapter foreshadows is what Isagi will have to do as a person who will constantly end up being the center point of the field, because he's going to be the team leader, he's going to be the main facilitator, he's going to be the organizer, he's going to be the main man, he's going to be the Metavision monster running the field. He's going to have to know when to fade into the shadows, when to manipulate his fellow strikers in order for him to get the opportunity to go in and go crazy, how to bend and manipulate the field to his will more and more and more, going back to the puppet string mentality that Rin used to have, or used to display quite often. And seeing that is fantastic. Seeing Kaiser being forced into the spotlight, where before he would have happily taken it, now he's taking it simply because he has no other option to. And this new restriction is forcing him to evolve in a way he doesn't want to. Beautiful. Rin starting to finally reawaken because of the pressure that Isagi puts him under, and the pressure that even Rin himself sought out. Beautiful. Character work in this chapter is immaculate. But that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 monthly. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. And so now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reactions to the series I review, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 Patreon or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. But now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our $3 members, Zena, Greyhound, Astro, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, G Prosper, Red Wolf 4765, and Paris Arnold. I'd like to leave another big ol' thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $7 members, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, and That Guy. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and Akids Void. And I'd like to give big, hefty, juicy thank yous to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Michael Williamson, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Idemo Kami. And I'd like to give the biggest, juiciest, meatiest, sloppiest, and heftiest thank you of them all to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.